welcome back to Hardy Brothers Outdoors. We've got the concrete truck on the other side of the Barndo, and we're getting ready to start the process here of pouring 23 yards of concrete, about 11.5 on each side. And we're using Sheets concrete. It's Brandon Sheets out of Southern Ohio here. He's done Jason's Darn Barn. He's done part of the indoor of the Barndo, and he's done great work for us, and we've enjoyed working with him. So and he does good quality work. So anyway, let's check out what's going on. I'm gonna do my best to give you an overview of how this whole thing unfolds for some of you who have never seen concrete poured or how it's finished. I personally have seen it, but I don't actually know how to do it myself. And I'm sure we got lots of you who are experts at it that have an opinion on how it's being done, but we've been working with these guys for a long time. We did some really good prep over a couple years, so we know that the foundation we're pouring on is solid. So we're going to see how it turns out. So one of the advantages of this pour is we're able to get the truck backed right up and pour it all directly onto the pads. The last time Sheets did work for me on the inside, they had to wheelbarrow it all in, so I know they're a lot happier here. But as you can see, they do still have to use the rakes to move that concrete around and get it into the corners. It just doesn't quite reach. But it kind of looks pretty effortless, like they're just kind of sweeping it around. I can tell you by the end of the day where I was helping, it very quickly you're reminded that this is heavy concrete that's getting moved around. So it's a little wetter here, so it looks like it's moving a little bit easier than it was by the end of the day. But overall, it's going down pretty easy. So you're probably wondering about my wall here and why we have these areas blocked up like we do. We're going to end up doing some additional, we're going to put a curb in along there. But when we dug down to get the right level for the concrete, we were below the level for some of the footers that were put in. But those footers have 3/4 inch rebar, and they've been there for quite some time, so I think we're going to be all right once we get the curb in. It's kind of hard to see, but you can notice some of the pins out there in the middle. There are some right to the edge there that are painted orange, and these are basically the elevation pins. So they will fill the concrete up to either the top of the pin, or there might be a nail in the pin, and that's how they decide, how to map the elevation. So he's got this long piece of wood here that he's going to use to screed the concrete, which is basically to help level it out and force it, down into the initial elevations. And so you can see that his helper kind of pulling the extra wave, but he's every now and again you'll see him kind of tap, and he's looking for the pins to find his elevation there. I've got this whole pour with time-lapse video as well, so I'm looking to get that edited down, and then I'll put the entire 23-yard pour out as another video that's just time-lapse. So I found it amusing. Brandon uses a lot of hand signals to the driver, and the second driver and the third driver worked really well. First driver, it was his second or third day on the job, and there were a number of miscues with him, but they seemed to work really well with these other two guys. So this is the bowl float, the initial smoothing process, and now we're on to the other side. So this was a bit of a defining moment as this very heavy cement truck backed up on my new retaining wall and parking area, but it held. So there's a variety of pins on this side and a variety of elevation changes. The big thing here is we've got a drain in the back corner and a drain out front. We don't want water running through the wall, and I've got to keep water from running down that hillside to my septic leach field. So lots going on here. We're going to end up trenching where that drain comes out, which is also bringing water from the between the driveway and the house. And we're going to end up trenching that through the yard with a French drain and on down into a swale. So lots of water management on this very hilly property. So we got a couple things going on here. They called it crawling the concrete. As you can see, they got these knee boards going out, and they're troweling the imperfections out of the concrete. At the same time, the other gentleman is putting down the brush finish. All right, it's been a full day for the concrete. It is, let's see, 5 o'clock now. I think the concrete showed up around 11. It was about an hour late on the start time, but the guys got here at about 8:30 to start finishing all the prep that they needed to do, the final forms and stuff. but everything looks really good. There's some kind of weird stuff on the concrete, the way we had all of the different elevations falling to channel water for a variety of reasons. So if you look at it and you can see things that maybe don't look right to you, then that might be part of it. So overall, I think it looks really good. I did have some extra concrete that I had them pour on the approach. I ended up doing a good bit of the kind of finishing until they got to the very end, and they cleaned it up, made it look a little bit better. So it wasn't in the original plan. It didn't have forms. So when you see that, that's part of that as well. So let's take a look at the final product here. And there's actually both sides of the Barndo. We got a little walk-up pad to our stairs, and then a final piece on the inside from where the barn was made bigger than the prior barn that was there and the concrete that was there before. So we'll run through and take a look at everything. All right, so this is the side closest to the house. We've got a little bit of an approach over there that was leftover concrete, and yeah, looks good. Here comes my dog who just managed to get out of the house, trying to keep her off the concrete all day. We've got this little portion here. And then another big pad here. We got to figure out the approach here. Now, the one thing is we are going to put a curb along our wall here. So some of the finish work there wasn't finished on purpose, because we're going to pour a curb to help keep that retaining wall in there, since we're down to the footer and part of the footer is exposed below the footer. So we put some piers in there. Overall, again, happy with the way this whole thing turned out. Let's zoom out here, get the full look. And yeah, that's what we got. So then there's one more little piece inside. So this was the final little section that was filled in. So I haven't really gotten the whole story out about this barn, but this curb used to be the edge of the original, those are the original posts of a, I want to say 20 by 24. So this whole curb used to be the far edge, and then we had to expand beyond it for the pole barn. And then I capped all that area, so that'll be good storage up there. And over here, the barn ended, the old shack or barn ended here. You can see one of the posts that are cut off here. And then I had an apron poured. So this side actually dips down. But anyway, it's all good. It's looking really nice. We got all the concrete done, I think, with the exception of the curb. And then now I can start to figure out how to store some of this stuff to where I've got more room to work in here. And with Jason and his new darn barn, he had equipment up in the woods in one of my barns, so now I'll be able to reuse that, and we can really start working on clearing this place out and getting some work on the final stuff down here. So thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. We got lots of cool stuff coming in the future. And if you haven't checked out our other channels, please do. They're in the description. We've got pretty much all the social channels, another YouTube channel. We're very active on Amazon, and we got a lot coming the next few months.